the host in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Ann Perillo, and welcome to Singles Talk. Singles Talk is a production of Singles Outreach Services of the Capital Region. And the Capital Region covers the entire area from Pittsfield to Kingston and north to Glens Falls and further north. So tonight we're having a show called Getting Out. Getting Out, right, Greg?
Right.
Right. And this is wonderful because we have guests, we have talk show guests, and we also have an audience. This is going to be a great night. If you know someone that's single, tell them to get to the television and watch this show. Greg.
Hi, Ann.
Hi.
If we could do anything tonight that might be useful to you that's watching this show, to me, we might give you some information that you didn't have before the show, and we hope we give you a little information and inspiration. Ann.
Yes, Greg.
Have you gotten out lately?
Have I gotten out lately? Yes, I have. As a matter of fact, Saturday night I played a little bridge. Had some fun at SOS at the Hanover Square office, which is located in the Albany area. And also took a nice trip. And I try and get out. I think it's fun to get out and interact with people. How about you?
Great. Let's see. I went on a small hike, but you know what I want to do? I want to rush.
A small hike? Where did you go on a small hike?
I want to rush.
I want to hear
right
about your small hike.
Yes.
Where was your small hike?
My small hike was actually around the block.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
I didn't mean to embarrass you. Go ahead.
I feel we are so lucky tonight because of our 6 guests, and our audience may chime in later on, but of our 6 guests, we have 2 people who actually came to the new member meeting of Singles Outreach Services on Monday.
Aren't they brave?
I'm not sure it represented actually they were just getting out or not, but we're going to hear from them because here's our first question, and we'll start with our brand new members, or the people that came out on Monday night. We're going to ask our guests each to answer the question from wherever they're coming from. If they think back and they ask about when did they kind of like begin the process of getting out, and that really means entering a new environment, a singles environment, and it means sort of identifying yourself as a single, getting out. Our 2 new members, or at least they showed up Monday night and volunteered to be on the show, are Carol and Barbara. Carol?
Where was I? Well, I was really in a bad rut. Every day seemed the same. I mean, really the same. I felt like a little hamster scrabbling around in his little wheel, always going like this and never getting anywhere. So I finally had enough of that, and I just went out to seek people.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Barbara, how about you?
Well, I'd come to a time in my life when I was tired of feeling sorry for myself. I worked day and night practically, and I decided that there's more to life. And I'd like to meet some new people. I'd like to do different things rather than just work, work, work.
I'd like to ask a question. How long did it take you to really to come to SOS? I mean, did you have to look at a calendar? Did you think a lot about it? I mean, we always get this story that people have maybe come, sat in the driveway, sat in the parking lot, and then left, you know.
Even watch the people
Even
come
watch
in.
the people come in and out. Tell
See
us
who's-
about your experiences.
I had been encouraged to come for several years, as a
Oh,
matter
wow.
of fact.
That might have almost been a record.
Well, no, I was in a relationship that ended, unfortunately, several months ago. And then another nice friend of mine said, Barbara, do it. Just go ahead and do it.
Oh,
There's lots
good.
of nice people out there. And my Monday night experience was very positive.
It was, because
Yes.
I was going to ask that.
It was very positive, yes. I
It
feel
was.
very good. I'm looking forward to more.
That's
How about
great.
you, Carol?
It took me years, too, so maybe she doesn't have the record.
We may have 2 records.
It was just, like I said before, the same old stuff for years, and I had a very positive experience, too, on Monday night. I came in expecting nothing and came out with a smile on my face, and I always say, blessed is he or she who expects nothing, for they will never be disappointed.
But you were
wonderful.
not disappointed at all.
No.
That's really wonderful.
I
Well,
wasn't at all sure that you 2 would show up
Oh,
tonight.
that's
I
great.
wondered if you would. Well, really, welcome.
Do we have a bravery medal we can give them or something?
No, but let's dream one up. Now, I don't want to call anyone an old timer, but let's go to some other guests who have now. Remember, I'm thinking back at the beginning when you first started this process of identification with SOS or just getting out as a single? Don?
I remember distinctly my first SOS activity. It was a picnic at the Colony Town Park. I remember at least one person who was there, and we're still great friends.
Oh, nice. Nice,
So
nice.
you tried a picnic.
That was my first.
Great.
And now I've tried everything else.
We're gonna come to that
And
very
he really
soon.
has.
Let's jump to Dale.
Well, I was one of those people who were in the parking lot afraid to go in initially. And I knew it was a very difficult time in my life, and it was time to move on, and it was a new beginning, and where do I go? And thank God for SOS.
Oh.
I'm very appreciative.
Huh. And Peter?
I was unemployed 6 years ago, spending enormous amounts of time at home watching television. SOS gave me an opportunity to get out of the house and do something other than watch TV. And I went to the Monday night events where there were speakers, mental health professionals, MSWs and psychologists talking about various mental health and family topics, which are very beneficial. And it also gave me the opportunity to hit tennis balls with the tennis players and sing folk songs with the folk singers.
Oh,
So you tried
really?
several.
SOS was a very valuable experience.
And Marianne?
I had sort of a similar experience. I had a good friend who was a member of SOS, and she kept saying, "Why don't you come?" And I kept thinking, I don't really need SOS. I have lots of friends. I really don't need to do this. Yet I found myself home alone many Friday and Saturday nights. So one Friday night, she convinced me to meet her in the parking lot, and running a few minutes late, as I usually do, I got there and I didn't see her, and I thought, boy, as soon as she shows up, I'm telling her I'm out of here, I'm not going in. And I waited, and 5 minutes and 10 more, and I knew that she's usually very prompt and was probably inside, so I very carefully, like a turtle, stuck my neck out and kind of made progress 1 foot at a time, and went in the door and joined that night, and it's been fun ever since.
Great.
Great.
You know, we actually had an event once in the parking lot. It was pitched as if you've never come in, just come as far as the parking lot. And
It was a
we had a
picnic.
picnic in the parking lot.
Yes, and it rained, but we still had a great time.
We still had 30 people
I know,
that
we had a
showed up.
wonderful time.
But they were mostly old-timers,
Yeah.
so to speak, people that had come
Been there
before.
6 months or so more. Old timers really not so much, sometimes it's 6 months at least.
Let us now show you the calendar of activities for Singles Outreach Services. The next question that we're going to ask our guests is, what are they thinking they might do next, or what do they like to do on the calendar? So I want to show you in general the kinds of activities that are available. Every night of the week there's something, sometimes 4 or 5 things. For example, on Sunday, I'll just give you one example of what you might find on the calendar. A picnic. On Monday, I'm going to highlight the new member meeting because that's important. On Tuesday, a workshop. On Wednesday, a nice hike. On Thursday, a wonderful social gathering that sometimes about 150 people come to with interest groups, and actually there's a small dance after the gathering. On Friday, a big dance. We might discuss the big dance later on. Maybe 300
Some lessons
400
too,
people.
huh? If you don't know how to dance, we have a few lessons for you.
Yeah, and on Saturday night, game night. So if you're thinking about coming out and you have this about 150 activities to choose from, we actually try to design the calendar to make it very difficult for a person to not find something that at least they can somewhat
That's true,
identify
that's
with.
true.
Right. So, Ann, what do you like to do now on the SOS calendar?
Oh, well, now this is an event right here. Singles Talk is an event. So here we are at Singles Talk, and this is my favorite event right now. But other than that, I like the games, the game nights, and especially bridge. I happen to like bridge, and I know you do too, Greg. And some of the other things I like to do is Skylar Inn. That's a lot of fun, where it brings a lot of people together, and there's a lot of activities that are planned that night. So it's really a nice place to go for that. And the other things I like, the Friday night dances are fun. Picnics are good. I kind of, there's so much that if I had to do it all, I'd probably die of a heart attack. There's just so much. But I pick and choose and try something different at different times. How about you, Greg?
For my pure own enjoyment, I like tennis. We have a variety of ways to play tennis. Friendly tennis, you just show up and see who's there to play with. We have some teams. I enjoy
Team tennis,
playing-
right?
Yeah.
We met Billy Joe.
Competitive team
Oh,
tennis.
Yeah, that was nice.
And my favorite thing is actually the way I started SOS. It's the Monday night single issues discussion, and that's where I invite people to come and in a structured way through some topic, like getting out. That was Monday night's topic. That's my favorite activity
Well,
in SOS.
let me just tell you a little something about that Monday night. That's where I came to my very first activity. And I remember that Greg was there, and I walked in, and the first thing I did was found a chair and measured the distance to the door to make sure I could get out that door just as quick as I could. And Greg comes over and says, "Oh, here, let me find you a seat over here." And I'm going, no. You know? But
You know,
I
in
went
those
and I
days-
stayed and I had a ball.
In those days, there was only a door. Now we have our own office, and there
Yeah,
are
I know.
actually 2 windows that people can escape from.
Do we
There's a
have
door.
ladders off them? No, that's right, ground level. It won't make any difference.
I really invite people to stay close to the door if that's where they feel most comfortable.
But so
let's
even
find
as
out.
outgoing as we are, you know, we have our little fears too.
Really? Let's find out now at this point in their lives. Now we have some brand new participants in
Yep.
SOS. We have actually someone who's pretty much gone from SOS with us, and we have some intermediate guests.
We have
Let's-
wonderful guests, yeah.
Let's find out what they
Yeah.
enjoy
I think that's
or
a
are
good
looking
idea.
forward to.
Well, who shall we start with? Mary Ann?
Sure. I'll tell you that my favorite thing in SOS is Thursday night. I kind of look at Thursday night as a smorgasbord. I can go and sample lots of different things. I'm a person that I don't have a favorite like tennis. I enjoy tennis, so I find out when the tennis players are playing. I enjoy hiking, so I find out when there's a hike. I enjoy camping. I kind of just, as I said, it's a smorgasbord, and I like to sample a little of everything, and I always find something there that I want to do. Skiing in the winter, cross-country, downhill, rollerblading. So
But
that's-
okay, just to clarify, I don't understand, Mary Ann. Does this mean they play tennis on Thursday nights? And they ski on Thursday nights?
Actually, some do. But the Thursday night is the meetings where they break up at 7 o'clock and they break off into all these little interest groups.
Okay, that's what they do.
And so if I want to find out if I feel like skiing and it's winter, I can go to the skiers group. And I might decide that Thursday night in the winter I want to really learn to play bridge, so I could go join the bridge group that night and find out when's the next bridge group. And then in the summertime, I might find out when are they playing tennis, and then I'll move over to the hiking group and find out when the next hike is, and decide whether or not I want to join that at that point in time. So that's my favorite thing, and then finishing out with the dancing on Thursday night is fun.
Great.
How many new people do you meet, like people you did not know before on an average Thursday?
On an average Thursday, I probably meet between 5 and 10 new people.
So
Nice.
that's interesting.
Yeah. I'm not real good at remembering names, but faces I remember, and that helps
yeah.
then when you go to these other activities, you can say, oh yeah, you were there on Thursday night, I remember you, you liked bridge or you liked tennis. And that helps on the Friday night dances, which are very large, I enjoy them, but if you go to Thursday nights, you kind of always find a face that you recognize, at least one.
And people are
Friday
very
night.
friendly there too.
Yes.
So that's nice.
Let's dwell on the forgetting names thing for just a second, because almost everybody feels that way. And when I started the organization, it was my goal to remember every name. It just seemed like the
all
civil...
5,000?
No, there weren't a 5,000. There were only 100, and then 200, and then 1,000. And it seemed like a thing that one should do. At some point I decided, and I think everyone should decide this, that just knowing the name is not that important. It's very easy to say, I'm sorry, what's your name?
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
And getting past that is a big step in terms of making
Right.
new friends. Just saying, hey, I forgot your name, but I remember your face.
What do you do now? What do you enjoy? Let's go over to Carol.
Well, I've been to one dance and I enjoyed it very much. I'm looking forward to this week's Friday night dance, and I'll plug the rumba lesson for you. There's a rumba lesson before the dance, and it sounds like a lot of fun, and I'm going to be there. And one special interest group that particularly piqued my attention was the motorcycle group, so I'm going to try to get involved in that.
So you are a person of many interests.
Yes, I like
From rumba to
rollerblading
motorcycles.
and
That's wonderful.
And I'm anxious for Thursday night too, if I can make it out there to see what else is available. I like sampling too.
Don?
I like a wide variety of activities. I think perhaps the ones I like most are the ones for which I have assumed some responsibility, such as bowling or game night.
Okay. We'll just go down the line. Barbara?
Okay. I'm also very well-rounded, and I'm looking forward to the cultural things, the outdoor things. I'd like to try the bike excursion. I'd like to go on the walks. I am going Thursday night. That sounds like the neatest thing to do. This Friday I can't go to the dance because I have something on Saturday morning, but I'm looking forward to everything. The variety is tremendous. No matter what you're looking for, you can find it.
Peter?
I enjoy scrutinizing the SOS monthly newsletter that I receive every month. Dollar for dollar, the newsletter I receive is the biggest bargain in my mailbox.
You don't send it to me with corrections, do you? I'd appreciate that.
No, but for my $15 membership, I'm able to receive a monthly report about what's going on, all kinds of activities and events, and it's something that's available 365 days a year, and I'm very grateful for it.
Greg, maybe we should tell them where to call if they'd like to get a newsletter.
That's a good idea, Ann. If you would like us to send you a complimentary newsletter, just call 452-6883. That's 452-6883, and we'll just get it in the mail the day you call, and you can see the activities. Now, Dale. Dale, could I introduce you before you talk? How could you say no? Dale, I can't believe that you stayed in the parking lot for a while because you are so important to our biggest, most peopled event now, which is the Friday night dance, where you help line up all the hosts, and every Friday you're there making the dance go smooth. Now you can talk.
I used to be very shy. When I initially started, I would volunteer hosting, and before I could leave, I would have to meet 2 new people and hopefully cultivate a friend from one of those 2 meetings. And I would ask if they were going to go to a dance or something, and I would agree to meet them there. That's how I got started. The dances I just love. They're my thing. We average approximately 400, anywhere from 350 actually to 500 on a weekly basis. And we have a dance lesson prior to the dance. I am the host coordinator. People come and volunteer for an hour to host. We become like a family. We're a network of a family. We love each other very dearly. I have cultivated so many friendships, and I am very, very appreciative to SOS for helping me to get where I am today. The one thing I'm doing a lot, I'm playing bridge, okay? And I used to be terrified of height. I met a gentleman through SOS who's a pilot. I go flying. It's fantastic.
Just broadens your horizons,
Yes.
I'll tell you.
I love the picnics. I'm really grateful for the personal growth in my life and all the activities that we have and that we offer. Please try it. I mean, meet friends, don't stay home. Trust me.
And if you want to go to a dance or you're a little bit nervous about going to a dance, we just suggest that you look for Dale.
Yes.
Dale's at all the dances.
Yes. And I'll introduce you to people, and trust me, you'll have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dale will make sure you have fun.
Did everyone get to...
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's wonderful.
On Monday night, we had a group that also discussed getting out. There were about 40 people there. It was the standard Monday night single issues discussion. I told the group that we were going to do a TV show tonight, and the very last activity that we did, we asked them to write down on these 4x6 cards if they had any ideas, and they filled every card, so we're not going to read the cards, but I've asked our guests to take one card and think about it a bit and read the thing off the card that intrigues them the most as a message to you to kind of help you understand getting out or to get out. And then I've asked each guest to like give their own 2 cents too to the cards. And you and I don't have cards, but we'll do it
You don't?
too.
Oh,
No.
okay.
So here come the cards that came from the Monday night discussion. And we'll see what people said about getting out. Shall we go in order?
Well, whatever.
Carol.
Well, I chose not to read off the cards because I just want to say, come on out or I'm going to come get you.
Oh, wonderful. Woo, you better have a big band. Now, you heard it here.
Don, we'll go one at a time.
My advice would be whether the activity is social or athletic, outdoors, intellectual, cultural, pick an activity that sounds ideal for you and just do it.
Good.
Many of us are like rocking chairs, going back and forth, but we're really not going any place. We're just standing, going back and forth in motion. I would suggest get rid of your rocking chair and get out there because there's a wonderful life to be had. And SOS is a major part of it.
Good. Thank you.
2 things. I participated with 7 other people in the preparation of a divorce guide for separating couples. It's still available, it's still very valuable, and anyone who has thoughts of divorcing could benefit immensely from it. And the second thing I want to mention is that SOS provides you with the opportunity to be a volunteer behind the camera on a TV show, and we have 5 of these volunteers with us this evening.
Let's hear it for the audience.
And Peter, by the way, you know that divorce resources guide that we work so hard on, we do have it available. We would mail it to you if you called us, 452-6883. It's an 8-page piece with a lot of very valuable information in it. And it's now on the internet, on our World website, so that if you're computer illiterate and have a computer, on the newsletter you can see directly how to get to that information.
And our newsletter does give our address, our email
Yes, it
address,
does.
and our address on the World Wide Web. We do have personal pages and everything. So.
And Dale?
If you feel you're ready to get out of that house and find out that there's a world out there to enjoy, get on the phone, call SOS. As Greg said, he'll send you a newsletter. Go to a new member reception. The calendar is fully explained. A little at a time, you cultivate friendships. If you want it, it's there. Enjoy your life. Enjoy SOS.
And Marianne?
I like to think that life is a journey. It's not a guided tour. So I think get out, take a risk, take some side trips, join SOS, do something, get out.
Great. Well, that sums it up for me, too.
I like the rocking chair
The rocking chair is
analogy.
wonderful.
That's a very good.
Rocking chair.
That's great. The hamster or gerbil, which I forgot what you said, but that's wonderful. Yes, that's wonderful. Yeah, I think there's just so much that we offer, and we're not the only singles organization in the area, and there's a lot of other groups. You can join your church. There's a number of things you
Many
can
ways
do
to get out.
and
Yeah, we can't help the rah, rah, rah for SOS, but the whole issue of getting out
Exactly.
and getting involved in your community, getting involved with new friends, getting involved with your church, getting involved
Children.
with your children.
with your children and the activities that are out there for children. And even SOS has the Parents Network. So there's, getting back to SOS again, but we do have a Parents Network.
I think people who are single, recently single, widowed, separated, divorced, and sometimes never married and kind of finding themselves in a corner, do have a special feeling of being out of it, of feeling stuck, and of being interested, hopefully, in our message of getting out. We have a little time. I'll invite us to dwell on why do you think people are stuck, or are they? And is it hard to get out and go into a whole new environment?
I
It
think-
took years.
I think it's hard, and I really think of myself as a getting out person, but I know that there are still times that I go in and out, and I've been single now for 7 years, and there are still times on a Friday night where I say, I don't want to do this anymore. And I make a conscious effort then that I realize that I need to take a risk. You're never going to get any place unless you try something new. So, and every time you go out, there's something new that happens. You learn something new, and you grow as a result of that. So it's a continued effort, but it's worth it.
And there's nothing wrong with staying in or going in also as part of the process of growth, just going out and going in. But we just wanted the message tonight to be, don't be stuck in a place that you don't want to be. Go out as well as reflect and go in.
Well, many times, you know, if you've been in a relationship or have been married for any length of time, you have developed a whole circle of friends that are involved with your married friends or married
That's
group.
your network.
And it's very difficult sometimes to break out of that and see yourself as another individual or a free spirit in a sense. And it's very difficult to step back and say, I'm not a wife anymore, or I'm not a husband anymore. And
I'm a single.
Well, and that's pretty scary. That's a very scary thing. It's not always comfortable to be single.
No, not at all.
And I think it's like a new beginning sometimes to create your own new identity, that you're not that husband or wife anymore.
And a fear of going out.
And a fear of going out
think
is
Is
part
that
of
you're going to be
that.
hit on right away.
That's
like
one
you're-
of the big things, I think, is the fear of unknown. You know, that's one of the things that held me back, because I've been single for over 3 years now, and I've already explained how long it took me to come out of the woodwork. It's
Yeah.
just, you never know. I mean, and especially in the 90s, it's so tough to be single.
It's scary.
And SOS tries to make it a little bit easier if they
Yeah.
can.
My first attempts to go out about 15 years ago were actually rather depressing, and I think I was a bit depressed besides. I went to a bar scene, that was totally depressing. I went to a singles dance that there was, that was totally depressing.
It was not SOS. It was not SOS.
But it could have been, because some people try one activity and they have a depressing experience. I hope you try at least 2 or 3 times. And the thing that I did go to that I felt connection with people was a retreat type experience. It was a 2-day retreat at the Quaker Meeting House out in Chatham, discussing anger. And I found that very, very uplifting and connecting. And it really was in that retreat that I partly formed my idea of starting something which was more of an invitation for people to meet other single people than seemed to exist to me in my attempts to go out.
And this is what it's turned out to be is a lot different than what you started out with. So this has
Definitely.
evolved because of the needs of people.
In my mind, there was no dances. I didn't like to dance. There was no bridge. I didn't know how to play bridge. There was no tennis. I mean, SOS has grown with the interests of its
That's right.
members into this organization with so many activities.
I think the exciting thing about getting out in the single world, once you take that risk, is that you realize you have something in common with every other person out there, and that you can identify with that fear of being single.
Well, I
and
hope
being
you'll
able to express
How
it.
large have we grown? How many of us are there?
We're up to about 5,000, and with 20 seconds left in our show, I thank you all so much for coming and joining us. You've been great, and
And
our
give us a-
audience too.
And give us a call. Call us. We'll send you a newsletter.
The number to call is 452-6883.
883.
Yes.
And thank you for joining us tonight. And be sure to watch our next show, which is going to be on the movies. Hope you'll join us. We'll be looking for you. Thank you all for coming.
Now we can just stay
Yeah,
here
so
and
nice.
chit chat for